How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Debating Woes. We're going to do part two of our show tonight. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to start talking about the third verse of the Star Spangled Banner. We interrupted that last show prematurely, so give us 1 minute. We'll get everybody back in the room so we can continue where we left off. So I thank you guys for watching, and while you do, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you, guys. I'll go ahead and move people over here from the other chat room. Also, if you'd like to join the panel, let me know. If you're having trouble joining, we can add you manually, and we can get the show on the road. All righty. All right, so we can say, any people in the chat room, if you have any questions, you can definitely ask, and the panel will answer them. How are you doing, Power? So you're the first one to take it over here. Seems like everybody's, I guess they were surprised that I started that show up that quick. It normally takes me a little bit longer than that, right? See, I'm getting better.
yeah, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, I never started one that quick, right? I mean, immediately. All right. Get everybody back over here. Basically, what we're talking about, the third verse of the Star Spangled Banner. We'll get people in here. This should be a pretty quick show. We'll go ahead and see what people say. Or are they really reaching and saying that, oh, this is racist, or I don't feel any racism in that verse? We're gonna find out, because I will admit, until this came to light, I had never thought about it.
I never knew about it.
Listen, the national anthem. That's what we're talking about. Did I say Star Spangled Banner just earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I meant third verse of the national anthem. So that's what we're talking about.
Wait, Trey, it's the same shit, right?
No, well, yeah.
The Star Spangled Banner is the name of the song, right?
Yeah.
I think the banner starts it.
Huh?
I think doesn't the banner start it and then it continues on after the banner is done being sung?
I'm thinking Pledge of Allegiance. It's the same thing, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking Pledge of Allegiance for a minute.
That's equally as bad. Exactly, that's equally as bad.
Where the hell did that come from? Let's go after this. Let's go into that shit. Where the fuck did that come from? You gotta learn this shit in kindergarten, be able to recite the shit, and then still gotta stand up all through high school. How come we ain't gotta do this shit in college? How come we don't stop and do this shit in college?
Right. You want to hear something funny? Most people don't even know the words to that.
What? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the justice of which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under God.
Now take your seat.
Huh? Yeah, you know they wanted to take that out too. So that's
all that shit out, man. I'm like, that's crazy.
Wait a minute, they did take it out?
Well, I don't know if they took it out, but they say you don't have to say it.
Right, I know they wanted to. They're trying to do separation of church and state. But okay, who said that they wanted to volunteer to read that third verse of the national anthem?
KP.
KP.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, everybody's here?
We're here. Let's get this show on the road. Thank you guys for coming to Debating Woes. Hopefully you guys are already over here and wouldn't be like the other people getting over here, but we're going to go ahead and go right into it now. Go right ahead.
Okay. All right, third verse. And I think you're going to be messing a lot because you're not reading the second verse. All right, third verse goes, and where is that band who so vaunly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, shall leave us no more? Their blood has washed out of their foul footsteps pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or gloom of the grave. And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave over the land parts. I'm sorry, over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Sound like some damn Charlie Chaplin shit.
Now, like I said, you have to seriously read it for yourself because it does not say anything about killing slaves of American slaves. It's about anybody who's revolting against America.
Power, please chime in. Please chime
would be
in. Let
the
us know.
British hirelings enslaved or anyone who aided the British.
Right. Go ahead, Power. Hate to put you on the spot, but
Remember,
power.
the Brits did say, "Hey, any slave who fight for us, we'll give you freedom."
Yeah. Go ahead. The link is there if anyone else wants to come in on this topic here.
It doesn't make any sense to go random kill your own damn slaves because who's gonna do your work?
Ooh, man.
I told you it's gonna be a quick destruction. Just dismantle that shit real quick.
Yeah, I know. It just didn't sound right, so I knew it was going to happen. It just didn't sound right at all.
Yeah.
It's a dedicated
I'm gonna go kill my slaves. Then I gotta go fucking pick cotton? You crazy?
Go ahead, Mendy. Mendy, you said ignorance at its finest. Go ahead. We'd like to.
Brian, you gotta unmute yourself, man.
Unmute. You're muted. You hit the mute button. We didn't mute you.
Because I think if that was so true and shit, so many of these pro-black or fake-ass pro-black people will always use that shit for a point. Well, in the third verse and shit. But since it's not clear, I never hear this shit. It's the first time I heard about it.
I will admit that.
In America's fucking Pledge of Allegiance, it says right there that we are the oppressors. It's already made to go against us, and they changed the yes against the black.
Think about all the other runaway slaves throughout history.
Yeah. Leave and come back, Power, if you're having trouble. Leave and come back. That always works if you can't unmute. That's it right there, is. You came with that. It really shut him down so much. His computer was like, you know what? Don't fucking
muted his own damn self.
The computer like, no, don't let him. Your computer like,
no, don't do it.
But your motherboard's gonna fry just because the computer. Right, leave the hangout and come back. Oh, type it in there. Hey, you're in here with us.
He said, I can't hear nothing. Dre started talking.
He said, yeah. But his computer was up there like, fuck, that's such a good comeback right there, damn it. Well, look, you forgot what show you were on. You're on Debating Wolves. Opinions will be, and personal points of views will be attacked. But personally, you will not be. That's the beauty of the show.
Quick to call somebody a motherfucker.
Coach just said the computer was like, let me advise you not to talk on I'm true. Like, I will go ahead and fake a virus for you.
I can't wait to see what he's cooking up. I can't wait to see what he's gonna say.
Yes, you are back.
You back?
Go, Mike. We were sitting there talking about you. We said your computer was sitting up there saying, "I'll fake a virus for you."
No, I'm on my phone, so I opened up YouTube so I can see the chat while I'm listening, while I'm interacting on the Hangout.
Don't worry about it. You're taking the L right now, man.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Taking the L.
Each time, just hit pop out chat, and you can pop the chat out and close the YouTube.
Okay. No, man, I heard what he said, but I have to ask a couple questions. Now, what normally would happen to runaway slaves?
Oh, they were beaten
You
and
return to
killed.
fucking slavery.
Here come their angles.
No, they weren't returning.
Lashing.
Yeah, they got lashed or they got killed, depending on the slave owner. So that verse doesn't exactly say what you're saying to say, because that very well would happen to runaway slaves. Majority of the time, they made an example out of.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. If you had you're not going to kill all your damn runaways, because you got to think about it, this is their property. if I go kill, say if I got 10 damn males who run away, who the fuck is gonna breed?
And you
I
might not
can't kill
necessarily
10 of my damn studs.
you might not necessarily kill all of them, but you're gonna kill some of them to make an example of anybody else who wants to run away.
No, but your
And my
argument
point,
is
my
killing
my
damn, just picking up runaway
and my
slaves and killing them.
and my point is this. My point is this. If you the guy that wrote the national anthem was a slave owner who thought black people were inferior. He writes a song talking about killing slaves. I'm just putting two and two together. And regardless of what he meant in the song, or we can never really interpret that because he's not here. But me as a black man, I refuse to stand up for a song that was written by that man with those particular lyrics in there. Whether he was talking about the British or his own slaves, I don't care. Just based on him and his outlook, I'm not going to stand for that. That's crazy. And it's idiotic for people to think that we should.
I mean, but that's your opinion. That's your right. You don't have to stand up. That's fine. But if you're gonna come to a debate, bring the facts, and it was not talking about just killing all these damn runaways.
We don't know the facts. Just because you say it's so, don't mean it's so. We don't know the facts. So
Now,
I have my opinion.
Now you're reaching at straws. Now you're grabbing at straws.
I told you. I told you. He was going to do the end of Space Jam. The end of Space Jam. That's what he's trying to do.
No, I'm not reaching.
If you go to the second, okay, we're back up to the second verse.
That's the funny part. Let me stop you. Just interrupt you for a minute. I don't have to reach for anything because I'm totally confident and secure in me. I don't really care. I'm just saying what I feel, and you guys can do as you will. But me personally, I refuse to stand as a veteran for something that has lyrics like that in there from the person that it came from. Whether I don't really care what he meant. The fact that he would even put slaves in there, I'm cool. I don't need to stand for that. So whether you do or not, that's like you said. This is supposed to be America. You're supposed to have your own free will. So you go right ahead. But it doesn't matter to me either way.
But it's the same reason why you had in the Civil War. Any slaves that fight against the Confederate will be returned to slavery.
Hey, Chess, how are you?
What's up? Hey, Chess.
What's up, Chess?
Hi,
Hard
Chess.
to think that,
Hey,
maybe
it's Chess,
that
the black liberal.
I just think that we that's part of black people's problem. Some of us have become far too comfortable with allowing anything to be done and said about us. We're far too comfortable with it. We excuse it and make people feel good about the dumb shit that they have done to us. So, I mean, I refuse to continue to do that. I haven't always had this mindset, but as I've gotten older and read more and learned more, I refuse to just allow people to continue to do stuff that makes no sense to me and to black people if I have any control over it. So, I mean, that just makes no sense to me.
so.
What I'm still trying to understand is where in the lyrics did it even subliminally aimed it at particularly black slaves? That's what I'm trying to understand still.
Well, there were white slaves, right?
Again, guy, I'm basing my thought process on the guy who wrote it.
Okay. And number two,
so
the second line of the second verse
and I don't
tells you who they're talking about. It said they're foes. Where's the foes?
And I don't
Told
know.
you, rat beef. Told you.
Yes, you is a foe.
I don't
Either
know.
you're a friend or a foe.
Friend, but you focusing on the foe part, but you said friend before that. So that
No. I said either you a friend or foe. The lyrics state, "Where's the foe, Harley, host, and dread?" Where the fuck are the foes hiding at? And bring it up in today's terms.
So the foes could be runaway slaves. I still don't.
Runaway slaves who went to the British side to fight against me.
So you telling me they're gonna?
If you just a runaway, I'm not gonna call you a foe.
So let me understand what you're saying. So you
Watch
saying
that left hook.
Go for it.
You crazy, baby. You crazy.
Are y'all laughing at what he's saying or what else? It's something else.
Both.
I'm laughing at KP, though.
Oh, you KP. Okay,
And that's
never mind. What are you talking about? Both. What's the other issue?
No, that was it.
yeah.
I'm just curious about, because I'll just be honest with you, I didn't know any of the other verses of that poem.
And that was
I only ever
gonna be
knew
my
the
point.
first verse. So, and I think most people probably only know the first verse. Maybe that's why, maybe we have moved on from that, and that's why the first verse is pretty much the only verse most people know.
Yeah, and it's always easy for white people and white black supporters of white people to say, "Oh yeah, we just moved on for that. We just moved on from that." But it's always so easy to move on anything that involves fucking with us. That's the
But wouldn't
basic
you
part.
hope that people would want to move on from that?
If I was in an abusive relationship where I was beating the shit out of a female, and I said, you know what, I moved on from that. 10
No,
years
she
later.
needs to move on.
So yeah, exactly. So she might not have moved on as quick as I did, and I think she would have every right to take her time and to move on at her own speed. But just because I moved on as the abuser, doesn't mean she's gonna move on at the same time I did.
Okay.
No, I agree with that. Not everybody's going to move forward, but it seems like in this situation, it just seems like, maybe we can maybe we can give some credit to people trying to move on.
But you want to say that we only know the first verse? That's what you said?
No, that's what I said.
No.
That's
Okay.
what she said.
And then you co-signed and said that's all they want to know, right?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay, well, repeat what you said. I'm sorry, so I don't misquote you.
I started talking about what I just said. I started on that. I didn't say anything about what she said about the purse.
Oh, okay.
No, he said, because I said maybe that's a sign that people are getting over it, and he said it's easy for other folks to say people just get over it, or
That's my main concern, man. I don't really.
How many verses are there in the Black National Anthem?
Let me finish. Let me state
I'm
this.
just asking you a question.
Damn.
Let me state this.
Since you guys could dissect the national anthem, how many damn verses in the Black National Anthem?
Just for the funk of it.
Let me state this, man. I'm not a pro. I didn't even know I was a pro-black. First of all, but I'm not a pro-black since I'm considered.
I didn't say go ahead.
Wants anything from white people, that wants anything. All I ask is to give us the same respect that everybody else gets, and to not throw our whole history of the stuff that they've done and other people have done just out the window and tell us to get over with. That's all I ask for. I don't. I think we should get reparations, but not reparations in the way that people would think. I think we should get reparations as far as a genealogy test, because people always said that's the first thing, like they tell in Colin. If you don't like this country, go back to Africa, go wherever. But we don't even know where the fuck part of Africa to go to. We the only people in this country like that. So people are so quick to, they want to say we're all one. But the first thing out of their mouth when we say something is go the fuck back where you came from. Well, we don't know where we came from. So that would be a start in reparations, to give us all a genealogy test, to let us know our true lineage, to let us know what part of Africa we come from.
Since they don't know, why don't you just say, fuck it, just give us a tax break for a couple of years and call it a day?
No, I don't want nothing monetary, because if we give something monetary, then that's going to be a whole nother problem.
Now, if you get a genealogy test, right? You get your DNA done. What is that gonna prove?
It's not the like I said, man. It's some of us are further are able to move on from the events of the past. But for some of us, as we see now today, I think it's one of the biggest reasons why we have so many gangs, because black people have nothing to relate to. You want us to relate to this flag and to this song and to America, but like for me, my uncles, my grandfather, they told me nothing but negative stuff that they've been through about this country. So I don't really want to relate to that necessarily. So it would help to have if we had a genealogy test, to be able to go back and have something to truly relate to, that we can say, okay, this is where I'm truly from. Mexicans, even though they're here, they can say, oh, I'm from Tijuana, Mexico. Chinese people, they could say I'm from China. We have nothing to claim But the land
How
of
many
our
whites
oppression.
can do that?
What you say?
How many whites can do that?
I don't know how many whites can do that, but I know this: white people have a right, have a true right to be proud of America. This is their, this is them. So they don't, I don't even think they care. But
I
we
can
don't have
Enjoy
this
this shit
same
in
history.
Mexico, my nigga.
What
I
you
can
say, Slim?
understand that in some form of fashion. I can understand that. But here's the question. When does the time period go by to where you say, okay, well, fine, yeah, we can't, all that shit was way back then. When do we get over it? I mean, when is my thing is, when is enough is enough?
And
It's like a parent coming in, say the dad's not there for the first 3 years of a child's life. So then he comes around, and then for 6 months he's been best dad in the world, but the mother is sitting there treating him like, well, you still ain't doing that good a job, this, that, and the other. Or, it ain't like you've been around that long. When does that date expire?
that date expires when the wrongs are truly righted. I mean, we still seeing the effects. Like I said, we really only been out of slavery about 45, 50 years. So you still have people, even though slavery has long been gone in some people's eyes, you still, a lot of the stuff you see today, the mindsets, the way people interact, the way we interact with each other, the light skin, dark skin, all of that is a result of slavery. So to tell people 50, even let's say 60 years later, just to get over that, when you have all of this stuff that has been placed on your shoulders to remind you of it every day, even though you haven't even been through it. It's I don't know when to tell you when that time is. And I don't, like I said, I'm not looking for nothing from white people. But don't keep telling me to get over it and salute this flag because you love this flag. You have a different outlook on this country. I
Who's
can
telling you to
appreciate
get
your
over
outlook.
something?
As a black man, I can appreciate the white people's outlook on the country. I can see why they love it. I can see why they celebrate the 4th of July and all this stuff they do. But just see my end of it. Don't just be so disrespectful and dismissive over all the stuff that we've been through and want to just have us jump for joy over the things that
The question is, how far are you going to go back?
Yeah.
Go back for what?
We're going to keep talking about slavery. That was 400 plus years ago.
But I don't know if
Now, if you want to flash forward, just go with what you said, that we just do a DNA test, right? And we find out your genealogy, and it traces you back. Say if it does trace you back to Africa, what does that prove?
it doesn't prove anything. I don't know if you're listening, KP. It doesn't prove anything. It just gives you something to associate to be prideful about of your heritage. Right now,
Well,
we
how come
don't
you
have
can't be
anything.
proud of your heritage in America?
I can't be proud of that because I know what my grandfather told me he went through. I know what my uncles told me they went through. I know what I've been through as a
You
black
don't think
man.
they're going through that same kind of shit in Africa?
I don't know, but I sure would like to find out. If from my true genealogy, my true lineage, I would like to find out.
If you go do a genealogy test on a majority of white Americans, you know the majority do come back with African descent.
Hey man, you keep telling. That's another thing, man. I no longer care what white people.
I'm just
That's their
saying that
right.
if you, then they can say, "Well, I want to be part of something too."
But they. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know if you listen, man. They have something. America is all theirs. They say it all the time, and I can appreciate that. I'm happy for them, but I don't have that same rosy outlook on America. So I just use for.
And I'm not knocking you because that's your opinion. I'm cool with that.
I just use for example, if they were to do reparations to give every black person a genealogy test. I'm just using that for example. I don't know whether that would work or not, but I'm just saying that we really have nothing to be proud of as far as America goes. I don't see it.
Are you saying that you would appreciate feeling like you had roots somewhere?
Yeah, that would be helpful because, like I said, I've seen it my whole life, man. The gang culture is all of a lot of this stuff is wanting to be a part of something. We really have nothing to be a part of. America, America is white people's without a doubt.
When you talk about your uncle and your grandfather, what do you think? What do you think your uncle and your grandfather would want you to do with things the way they are now? What do you think they would want you to do with the way things are now?
They will want me to do what I'm doing. Like I said, that's the amazing part. I'm fine. I'm living a beautiful life. I really have nothing to complain about. But that's it's was supposed to be what we're supposed to do. Just because I'm fine and I'm doing well, I can't forget about my cousins across the country. I can't forget about every other black person that's still struggling or going through just because I'm fine. Just like they try to throw on Colin Powell. Well, he's got $100 million. What's he concerned about? That's not the way we're supposed to be. I still have to have compassion and concern for my fellow black man. So I'm fine. They would be proud. They would be very proud of me. I'm good. I could just sit back and, drink vodka and cranberry all day. But that's not me. I'm concerned about the rest of my fellow black man and what will become of us in the future. So that's what, and I'm sure that's what they would tell me to do. What I'm doing.
All right, here's a question for you. Okay, like I understand what you're saying and all that, but what do you think is a solution to your problem, and how would you go to, to go about your solution that you think it would make people like you and have that same stance feel like, they're equal,
Well,
that they've been
first
satisfied.
the first thing we have to realize is a couple generations of black people are a lost cause. Yeah, I don't think you can change some of the mindsets that are out there now. I think we need to focus a lot on the kids, the young adults that we still can save. But a couple of these are lost generations. And then as far as white people concerned, all I ask is that you be, it's like I said, it's real disrespectful, man. When you watch a lot of this stuff, you watch the Trump rallies, you watch all of this stuff, man, and it's really insulting to black people as a whole. And now I know everybody might not look at it like that, but I talk to a lot of black people, and it's really insulting to see the way white people react to us, the stuff that they say, and it's just no compassion. That's all I ask for. I don't want nothing from you, man. I'm good. Like I said, I don't need 400 acres and a mule or whatever. None of that stuff. Just don't be so disrespectful and submissive of the things that this country has put us through. That's all I ask.
Oh, so basically, all you want to do is, if the country admit that, say, as the country came out and say, hey, we realize we fucked over people from this country, this, that, and the other, we're going to stop doing all of these things. Would that set your mind at ease? Are we going to take responsibility for, okay, how about this? America came forward and said, we're going to take responsibility for the fucked up shit we did. Unless you are given, I mean, it's hard to apologize. I mean, if you were given an apology or you need something physical from them.
No, I don't.
Apology wouldn't be good enough, or like have it written down that, hey, this is what America did and America was wrong, so that way any developing countries never do that again. Something like that.
I mean, apology would be cool, but I think it also needs to be in the education, in the history books, put specifically in there in what has been done, so the kids, like these young kids coming up now, like a little 7, 8-year-old white kid, they looking at, if you say something about, they don't know what you're talking about.
That is
to understand the history.
Oh, okay.
So they can have a respect for black people and what we've been through. You have people from other countries that come over here and look down and talk shit to black people when they come over here and utilize all the stuff that our people fought and died for to allow them to even do that. And they look at us like we stupid.
Okay, so basically, you would be happy and content. Say if they say, well, look, fine, we're not gonna go ahead and like sanitize the history books and not call the slave. We're gonna call the slaves and not workers. What did they want to, indentured servants or what? What did they want to change it to? They wanted to change the word slave to something else.
Yeah, and when situations.
Okay, what about? Okay, go ahead, finish that, and then I'll ask you a question from the panel.
And when situations like Colin Kaepernick come up, just be more mindful of other people's point of view. I know white people, like I said, I completely respect their point of view on it. I completely see that. I don't have a problem with that. But they seem to have a problem with understanding our point of view and where we come from and why we wouldn't do some of the stuff we do.
Okay. That goes for everything, not just slavery. You say something about gay people in this issue.
I'm not. Again, I could care less about anybody's issue at this point because we've fucked up and we've been fucked up. So I can care less about gay. I don't care about none of that. My focus right now is us. So, or me, black people. I don't know anybody on the panel. So I know everybody has their own issues, but I could care less about anybody else's issues at this moment. I'm worried about my people because we are in dire straits, in my opinion. So I don't care what, but y'all care what anybody else is going through right now. I don't.
Hey, I feel you on that, Power. Another thing though is, I mean, if you don't care about anybody else and how they feel, if you think about it, why should people? And I hate to say this because I really don't agree with this, but why should people care about how you feel? I care about it because of who I am, but why should anybody care?
Well, we've cared long enough. I mean, we everything we don't have anything specifically for us. Everything black people have got in this country, we share it with every other minority. So we've cared for a long time, and now it's time for us to care about us specifically, and not worry about bringing everybody else along in our struggle. That's when I say, because we've cared all of these minorities and what do you call them, immigrants that come over here and do a lot of the things they do. They do that because of civil rights and the sweat off of our backs. So we've cared. Everybody's included in everything. It's no book specific, nothing, no law specifically for us.
Okay, here's the question from the chat room. Someone asked to ask you about John Brown.
What about John Brown? I mean, be specific.
What about him? Hey, Deb, how you doing? Glad you joined the panel. I know sometimes you need an invite.
Jabby.
You see, I see somebody just put something about then move out of the country. That's the responses we get when we question or we say anything about anything. Move out of the country. So we're not allowed to say anything to better this country. We're just supposed to stand by and take it, or we get told to move out of the country.
Bro, they tell Mexicans the same shit.
And but Mexicans
tell
don't
Italians the same shit.
Like I said, it's always amazing to me to hear other black men start with, but I don't care nothing about. I mean, Mexicans don't have our history, man. I don't care nothing about anybody else that doesn't have our specific history.
Okay.
They tell everybody all kind of other stuff. But I don't care.
I don't know. That's a fucked up history. You lost a whole fucking half of the country.
And I didn't. And that's and KP. I didn't say they didn't. But like I just said a minute ago, I'm focused on my particular struggle.
I guess what needs to be said and why people say that, because I would assume that they mean, okay, go to Africa if you don't like it here. What I would say if I was you is you want betterment for blacks here in America. I don't care what they do in Africa. We need to do better here in America.
Okay.
Well, I don't necessarily. I think I just said that, and only mention of Africa was for lineage's sake, just so we don't know where we come from. I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. I guess you really have to drive home that separation. That you're not saying, hey, I want to go back to Africa. You're just saying, I just like to know where my lineage come from.
Yeah, I mean, I have no knowledge. I've never been to Africa. I've been to a lot of different countries and continents, but I've never been to Africa. So I don't want to go back to Africa. I would like to be in the place that my father lived, my grandfather lived, and his grandfather lived. I just want to make the place better. And every time I try to talk about making the place better, they tell me to go home if you don't like it.
Now, here's a question. No, we're not telling you to go home. We're just giving the other side of the coin. That's all. So don't think we're attacking you. Remember, like I said, we're attacking opinion and see, because sometimes you might say something that may change one of our minds. Another person said, okay, but where do we go to afterwards? Go move to where? I mean, like, well, that's what another person said in your defense. You're talking about, well, just leave if you don't like it here. But think about it, too. Where would you go? Technically, so I can kind of see from your point, where would you go?
And I see people in the chats asking, what am I doing for black people? I do a lot for the youth in my community, the youth in my family. And that's always a funny question. When you ask about trying to better a country that has done so much wrong to you, they want to ask what you specifically are doing, not what the country is going to do to make things better and a better place for your people. That's always amazing to me. And it's even funnier when that it comes from black people a lot of times. Like I said, this is crazy, but I get it.
Or I would say to that, Power, is if you want social change, you have to start doing for yourself first.
But again, let me explain something to you, man.
Not saying you per se.
Let me explain something to you. I'm fine. I don't know how to express that. I'm good. I make six-figure income. I'm good. I'm not. I have no issues.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you per se. I'm just saying as a culture. If you really want to make a social change, you have to change it yourself first in order to have people look at you seriously.
And that's why I come to these chats to
Right.
to have civil conversations with white people. Like I said in the chat, you can't interact with on your job with
Right.
questions like this, because you see people. I'm talking as civil and as nice and non-disrespectful as possible, but even people in the chat are throwing shots. So I couldn't have this conversation with white people at my job. I don't really
Well,
associate with white people outside of
I
work.
don't
So I
think. Wait, Power. I don't think they're being disrespectful. I think that like one of the things here I'm sorry, we kind of attack the opinion. So basically, don't think of it that like we don't allow name calling and like that, but we're supposed to attack the opinion hard. And I will say one thing, Brother Man Power, you are fighting for your point of view very well. So that's why I said that after today's debate, after we were done, I was going to let you know that I very enjoyed you. Enjoyed having you on the show because you showed that you weren't weak on your point of view, and you've really done some research and done some thought about it. So sometimes you may not change a person's mind, but you may alter how a person thinks. Because I've heard some people on the panel who were really after you, and they say, you know what, I do agree, reparations are needed. So you may not change everyone, but I saw one or two people go ahead and admit that, say, hey. So you understand what I'm saying? You are getting through to some people.
Yeah, and I mean that's all I try. I try to be respectful, man. I'm here for honest conversation, man. We
Right,
we
right. Well,
joke.
I mean, that's what we want to do here. We really want to. I mean, like if you, that's what we like. We like when we have a different side point of view and a different, because that way we can go at it and really debate hard and see. It may not always change, but it may alter how you do something. And then you are more considerate of others because you realize, you hear their points of views, and now you realize what they're going through or how they feel.
Yeah, exactly. Like Submissive said something before we got off the other chat that I consider everything. I'm never dismissive of anybody's opinion. Like I said, I can totally respect why white people feel about America the way they do. If I was white, I would probably feel the exact same way. I get it, but like I said, you just have to understand we don't have that same perspective. A lot of us don't. I can't speak for everybody, but
I see in the chat, coaches made a couple of comments about um, like personal outlooks on these things, and so I'm not sure, Coach, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I think what he's saying is rather than think people are looking down or think of you in a bad way, if you don't allow them to make you feel like that, then it's not so.
well, I'm not sure
They
what
can
he's
only
talking about.
keep you where you allow them to keep you.
Is he talking about me specifically, or what
I
is he
don't
talking
think
about?
specifically. I think he's just maybe as a
You tell
people.
Coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Coach
mean,
is
and that goes to the mindset. And I don't think people really disregard that when I say mindset. But over time, man, this is a mindset. You see these kids out here killing each other and doing all this kind of stuff. It's and I lived that I lived. I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised. So I've lived in the inner city my whole life. So I had that. I haven't always been the person who I am. So I grew up with a lot of those same mindsets, and it took me to grow up and to mature and to learn and to start to appreciate my people beyond what I had saw growing up and what I was used to. So a lot of this stuff is like bred into you. So it doesn't just go away that easy. You don't just snap out of it. For a little kid, like I gave the example, the lady Corinne Gray, if she was still, or the Corinne whatever her name was that got killed by the police, if she was
Corn
still
Gary.
alive, if she was still alive, we all saw this kind of stuff that she was putting into her kid. So if she was alive and saw God was able to raise that young man to be to raise that boy to be a young man, what do you think he would have grew up to be and said? So he didn't really have a chance, and it's like that for a lot of black people, kids. They don't have a chance because people put this mindset in them from birth, and you have to really have some special shit happen to you to get out of that mindset.
Do you think, like some of the shows, somebody mentioned the new show Underground? Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay. Underground is a show about a plantation, and there's a group of slaves that ran, and they're running north. And we watched it, and I mean, we were like glued to the television. But do you think that shows like that are healthy for everyone to see, or what do you think about that, about shows like that?
That's kind of I don't know, because I had a certain opinion, and then it kind of changed because somebody brought up a good point that if you keep showing kids these slavery type movies and TV shows, what does that do to the brain of that young kid when they see these particular people? So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess it's helpful in some sense, but I can't even answer that because I'm not sure.
Okay,
I guess the other side of why do we keep talking about it then?
Okay, here's another question too. In this day and age, who has the right to say who struggles the worst?
Fire.
That's
fire.
What was the question?
In this day and age, we talking about right now, who has the right to say who struggles the worst?
We have the right to determine that.
Yeah, I don't think I said anybody. Right. I don't think I said anybody struggled the worst. Again, I'm speaking from my people. I said, I don't really care. I can't really say what anybody else has going on. I just know since I was born, I've seen black people pretty much going through the same stuff, and I'm kind of tired of that. So I haven't really focused on Mexicans or anybody else. So I can't really answer that. And I don't think I have the right to say who struggled the most, because I don't really care. I'm just looking at my people, and I want to fix us. So.
I don't think it was directed at you. I think it was just a general question.
Right, general question. I'm sorry. I might have been combining people's questions because I'm trying to let people get questions in the chat. But I might have combined or said the wrong name when I said that. So that might have been more my fault there. Sorry, guys. But
I see. I'm reading the chat. I see somebody just said I might contradict myself. I'm not perfect at all, man. I'm just trying to better my people. So I might say some sideways things. I might say some wrong things. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to better my people. So if you're looking for perfection, you might want to go read the Bible, because that's the only perfect dude that I've ever heard of.
Right.
That shit ain't perfect.
Perfection.
You're right about that. You ain't gonna find nothing no perfect in there.
Hey, so Power.
Yes, sir.
Well, what I think I've come to discover, and what I think you and I actually go 1,000% agree with, is that we both agree on education in some kind of way.
You go choppy, dog.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and knock it back out. Give me a moment.
All right. But I'll give you credit, Power. You standing up, and I wish it was somebody else on your side, but you getting questions all over from left and right. I gotta give you credit. I appreciate it.
We gotta learn how to stand on our own. So I
can
take it all.
Look, Power. Look, like I said, you got the power today, because I say they hitting your point of view left and right. I'm glad that you're not taking it as personal. Yeah, because this is the type of show that I always wanted to run, a show like this where sometimes you may be the only one standing on that side of the coin, but I'll say that somebody wants me to ask you, what do you want? I think I asked you that similar already, but I guess maybe they weren't here.
I don't want nothing.
And go ahead and get me a little quick 30-second.
Yeah, I don't want nothing from white people but respect. Give me the same sympathies and all the stuff that you give everybody else. When we bring up an issue that's valid to us, don't tell us to go back to Africa. Don't tell us if you don't like it, get out. That's all. Okay,
so basically you don't want. I can understand that, because I could, as a person, if I'm fighting for rights for say a certain group of people or whatever, I could understand if someone said, well, then if you don't like it, take your ass back to Africa, even though they do say that to the Mexicans and stuff like that. But this is the difference. I think that we have a little difference in that, so I kind of see your point on that. It's not like we got anywhere to go to. The Mexicans, they can go back to Mexico. Asians can go back to Asians. We were brought here as slaves hundreds of years ago. We don't have nowhere. We've had
Yeah, we
separation from our country.
What the Mexicans need to do is just go to the other side of the Mississippi and say, I'm home.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going home.
Just look at Mexico.
But also the Mexicans, they're fighting and clawing to come back over here. That wasn't us. Everybody else has voluntarily came over here. So that that wasn't us.
Well, go ahead, Damon. Dame, click that link down there. Donate to the show, and I'll go buy a Golden State hat since you want me to wear a Golden State hat.
Oh man, that man should get a wrench.
Coach
That dude get a
Do
wrench.
Dirty. I think it's Coach Do Dirty. I don't need your stripes or respect, man. Like I said, you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm fine.
Well, I don't think that. Well, how can he provide facts? I can understand from his point of view, but technically on an incident like this, you can't really provide any facts. It's just an opinion.
Yeah, I'm speaking from the heart, basically. I'm just
Right.
I
Like I said, I understand the fight in you, and I mean, I can understand you figure, well, fuck, I said you can say, hey, my people suffered the most of this. We should at least get something, or equal treatment, or equal consideration where we shouldn't be told. But if you don't like it, take your ass back to Africa. Because to me, I do admit when you hear that shit, that sounds like you're beneath me. I don't like that. I've never liked to say that to another person.
And I really don't have no. I have a problem with white people. I told them in the chat. I like conversating because I don't get this perspective.
Right.
So I'm just, like I said, I guess I'm just pro-black. I'm looking out for us. And
Right.
And amazingly, more black people seem to have the problem with that than white people.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'll say that we fight more amongst each other, and especially harder against things we don't agree with. Because I will admit, you might be getting more flack from black people than white people on the panel.
Yeah, that's always crazy to me, but
I'll say we do that.
Actually, it makes perfect sense, Power. It makes perfect. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, you good.
It makes perfect sense why black people would be more not offended, but come at you a certain way because, like you said, we don't have an identity. I mean, we've all been swayed to the left and the right. Some of us, I mean, I have a Mexican girlfriend. Doesn't mean that I will feel a little more of her sympathies as she would mine as a culture. But I mean, we're all swayed. So it's like if you think about a white person, let's be honest, most white people, maybe not KP's wife, but most white people are okay. I mean, think about it. They're in America. They're pretty much. I don't hear almost any white person say, "I wonder where I'm really from." They're here, and that's what they are. So it's like they shouldn't have an issue with what you're saying. You're trying to find out who you are. Black people, we're swayed to left and right, so we're like, well, shit. This guy wants to find out where. It's almost like we're afraid of wanting to find out, who we are, where we came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I definitely get that.
So, Paul, let me ask you something, dog. What is your opinion on blacks against blacks? What are your opinion on black violence, like in Chicago?
I think that's one of our. I think that's probably a bigger issue than the police thing that we like to talk about so much. The black on black stuff, definitely.
So who's at fault for that?
Point. Give him a point. We agree on some shit.
But you might want to take my point back when I say I think it stems from a lot of the stuff that I said. It's the mindset that we have.
Come on, give me the Kool-Aid points, man.
It's the mindset that we have become so used to, man. I think that's a big part of this black on black crime and the violence that you see in our communities.
See, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that the white man is related to everything that's going on with black and black crime?
No, at this point we have some control over that, man. We don't have to.
Okay.
We don't have to glorify the stuff that we glorify. We glorify all the wrong shit.
Okay.
Like all of our most popular shows are bullshit, and it's negative stuff, and we let our kids watch it, and so we bring our kids up with this bullshit and negativity, and then we wonder why they act the way they act. So yeah, we have much more control over that stuff than we may have had in the past.
As long as you come with a happy medium, I could fuck with you, man. As long as you ain't one of them niggas that want to blame white people for absolutely everything. I can't tie my shoes because the white man messed up my fingernails and I was picking cotton. I don't want to hear that shit.
Like I said, yeah. I mean, he fought his point very well, and I mean, to me, he wasn't disrespectful to people who didn't think the same way, you know, that he did, which I don't see anything wrong with, because I hate to say, just because I don't agree with you, and say you might have 20 people here that don't agree with you, don't mean you won't go somewhere tomorrow and have 50 people that agree with you and one person that don't.
I don't agree nor disagree with anything he's saying. I'm just hearing the man's perspective. That's all.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man. I've been talking.
No, I was gonna just tell Slack. You know what? That's a great way to look at things, man. In fact, everyone here, I hope we all do. I'm trying to myself just look at it for what he's saying, as opposed to trying to agree or disagree, just to hear him say what he has to say.
Right. You know, I mean, I appreciate. I look like this. As I'm gonna tell you, Power. You to even stand up and be the only person on that side. That takes a lot. You know what I mean? That takes a lot right there. That takes a very strong person. And I mean, it's glad to know that there are other people out there like that. And to me, it makes me happy that I'm doing these shows to show that, hey, these people, there are people out there that got different opinions and points of view. And then you learn to get better skills standing up for what you believe in. And that just helps you feel good. We got other strong people out here. We may not agree tonight on this case, but does not mean we can't come together tomorrow on another idea. You know.
Hey, Power, you know you my mans.
Oh, yeah, you know we got to go back and forth at it, KP.
Oh, yeah, that's what we do.
And to me, that's why I said this is what I like about the, you know, debating. That's why I made the show.
You took an L today, man.
Yeah, I think you lost today, but I will admit you lost today because I think this is the problem. He didn't have it. He needed another person on his side too. I think if he'd had two people, he probably could have done a little damage.
Just
I'm down with power. I'm down with power.
Oh, Chess, come on.
Oh,
Chess,
God, we got Black Lives Matter in here.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was driving in the country. I didn't have any signal.
Chess, if you're going to play this game, you better bring all your pieces. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, come on now. I am a
Where's your banner at, Chess?
Hey, you know the strongest piece on the chessboard, right?
The Queen?
Yeah, I knew he was going to come with that shit. I knew she was
No.
going to say that shit.
Yes, recognize.
Okay.
Man. Well, you missed it. Power needed you about 20 minutes ago.
I know. I was like, man, this sounds like a conversation I want to chime in on, but I was like, oh, snap. I was in the wrong area.
on my head.
All right.
I do want to address Raw Dog. You made a comment that said that
Pause.
African Americans or Afro Americans hate Africans. That is absolutely untrue, man.
Where'd you get that from?
Don't like us as much. I think he said that he wants to do a show on why they don't like us. I don't think
why Africans don't like us, or why African Americans don't like Africans.
Right.
Because
I have heard Africans don't particularly like African Americans.
Fuck no, they don't like blacks in America.
No, they don't. Because we're not considered real black.
Lazy.
Right. Well, because they said we don't know our history. Yada 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 yada.
Do not
If
know
you don't
history.
believe me, Raw Dog, go talk to a real African who's going to be straight up honest with you.
I actually don't think we should be called African Americans, honestly, but
What do you think we should be called?
Same here.
I think we should be called Native Americans. If you look up the definition of Native, I think that fits us just fine.
But
Hey,
Native
I can agree with that because you was born here Native.
But here's the
Just
question.
indigenous American.
Here's the question. I don't understand. I don't think we should be called Native Americans because Native Americans, to me, are the ones who are already here before they came.
The original originators.
If you go by the definition of Native,
Gotta be indigenous.
I challenge everybody to look it up, and then I think that fits us.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking too. It is a native. Oh man, I was thinking that too.
I would say Indians are indigenous.
We are the lost diaspora.
Yeah, I'm found. I'm great. I'm American. Fuck that.
I'm found. I'm at home right now. I'm sitting in a chair.
Look at KP. I got mine. Y'all better get yours.
Right.
It's enough over here.
I'm not black or white. I'm OJ.
Steady OJ.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up because it seems like everybody's dying down now. I want to thank you guys for watching the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna go
What?
to
I'm
the
wide
panel
awake.
one more time. We'll let Black Lives Matter get her spot in. Then we'll go to a free for all. Since this was a quick show, we'll go for a free for all for another hour and a half.
All right, man. Y'all take care. Good combo.
No, but you don't want to say anything else, Power?
I'll just say that I think that's coaching there. Come see me, man.
Oh, well, we're not done. We're going to do another show right after this one. Topic change.
I
Man,
know Power held it down.
it's 10 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock California time.
It is 2 o'clock here in Michigan.
2 o'clock, boy. We can stay up. You can stay up.
I'm with you, Power. I'm in California too, man. I'm ready to kind of call it nights.
Bree, I'm gonna have to roll out on you, man. It's 2 o'clock.
Free for all is coming up next. I want everybody to say thank you for watching Debating Woes. I'm your host, Judge Dre. Say goodbye, everybody, since no one else wants to touch this topic anymore. Power held his own tonight. We'll give this show a special shout-out for Power. He was the only one there on the other side of the coin because his queen came late. That's just like a black woman. She was probably putting on her makeup. That's
her extensions.
You know she's Black Lives Matter. You don't show up until you get your ass kicked.
That's what I said. You see how she comes in late right here. Here she comes, the late today.
Power, I got your back. Don't worry about that, Power. I got your back.
All right, you got Black Lives Matter here. As long as she's in your corner, that's what it is. But
Black Lives Scatter.
Black Lives Scatter. All right there. Now that's that right there. Say goodbye, everybody. This is Andre signing out. Say goodbye, everybody.
Later, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Have a good one.